How would you feel being falsely accused and then found guilty? Well, that's exactly what happened in Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird. I selected this book because it's realistic and helps show the effects of racism in the South during the early 1930s. I know that the author, Harper Lee, originally wrote a series of short stories until it was suggested she make a book out of them. She wrote the book based on her life growing up in southern Alabama. She even won the Pulitzer Prize for the novel. So what's the book about? Well, the main character's father, Atticus Finch, is representing an African-American man who was falsely accused. The defendant is sent to prison because of his color instead of facts. Along the way, Scott, her brother Jim, and neighborhood friend Dill try to find out the true identity of the notorious and mysterious Boo Radley. I connected with the main character, Scout. She is a tomboy and enjoys being creative. Plus, she is always willing to give people a chance. I feel this character has a lot of the same characteristics as me. My favorite part of the book is where Scout, dressed as a ham, yes, I said a ham, is attacked by the true criminal and rescued by the last person you'd expect. Here is an excerpt entitled Atticus from To Kill a Mockingbird. Atticus was feeble. He was nearly 50 when Jim and I asked him why he was so old. He said he got started late, which we reflected upon his abilities and manliness. He was much older than the parents of our school contemporaries, and there was nothing Jim or I could say about him when our classmates said, "My father." Jim was football crazy. Atticus was never too tired to play keep away, but when Jim wanted to tackle him, Atticus would say, "I'm too old for that, son." Our dad didn't do anything. He worked in an office, not in a drugstore. Atticus did not drive a dump truck for the country. He was not the sheriff. He did not farm, work in a garage, or do anything that could possibly arouse the admiration of anyone. Besides that, he wore glasses. He was nearly blind in his left eye, and said left eyes were the tribal curse of the Finches. Whenever he wanted to see something well, he turned his head and looked with his right eye. He did nothing the things our schoolmates' fathers did. He never went hunting. He did not play poker or fish or drink or smoke. He sat in the living room and read. With these attributes, however, he would not remain as inconspicuous as we wished him to. That year, the school buzzed with talk about him defending Tom Robinson, none of which we complimentary. After my bout with Cecil Jacobs, when I committed myself to a policy of cowardice, word got around that Scout Finch wouldn't fight anymore. Her daddy wouldn't let her. This was not entirely correct. I wouldn't fight publicly for Atticus, but the family was private ground. I would fight for anyone from a third cousin upwards, tooth and nail. Francis Hancock, for example, knew that. When he gave us our air rifles, Atticus wouldn't teach us to shoot. Uncle Jack instructed us in the rudiments thereof. He said Atticus wasn't interested in guns. Atticus said to Jim one day, "I'd rather you shot at tin cans in the backyard, but I know you'll go after birds. Shoot all the blue jays you want if you can hit them, but remember, it's a sin to kill a mockingbird." That was the only time I heard Atticus say it was a sin to do something, and I asked Miss Maudie about it. "Your father's right," she said. "Mockingbirds don't do one thing but make music for us to enjoy. They don't eat up people's gardens, don't nest in corn cribs. They don't do one thing but sing their hearts out for us. That's why it's a sin to kill a mockingbird." I recommend Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird because it opens the eyes of its readers to the real world before the civil rights movement. You want a good book with lovable characters and a heartwarming story about standing up for what is right? Then this is a book for you.